There's a moment in life when you look around and realize you're carrying too much. Too many expectations, too many disappointments, too many people who were never meant to go the whole distance with you, and yet you keep dragging them along, hoping they'll change, hoping they'll finally see your worth, hoping they'll grow with you. But deep down, you know the truth. Some people aren't meant to stay. Think about this. Why is it that the moment you let go of something heavy, your body feels lighter, your breath feels easier, your steps move faster? The same thing happens with people. Life gets better, not when you add more to it, but when you learn how to release what's been holding you down. You see, we live in a world where we've been taught that letting go is cruel, that walking away means you're cold or selfish. But what if the real cruelty isn't holding on? What if the real damage happens when you keep people in your life who drain you, who silence your spirit, who make you question your own worth? I want you to ask yourself something. How much of your peace, your energy, your future have you already sacrificed just to keep the wrong people happy? How many nights have you stayed awake, trying to figure out why they don't treat you the way you deserve? How many times have you silenced your own needs just to keep their chaos from exploding? Here's the truth. Life doesn't get better because people suddenly change. Life gets better the moment you decide that not everyone deserves a seat at your table. The moment you realize that your future depends not on who you hold on to, but on who you're brave enough to let go of. Because letting go is not the end. Letting go is the beginning. When you think about your life, there are people who arrive like sunshine. They bring warmth, laughter, and memories that make your soul feel alive. But then, as time passes, something changes. Maybe they stop showing up the way they used to. Maybe their presence becomes heavier, filled with tension, judgment, or negativity. Or maybe they simply don't grow with you. And yet, you still cling to them because of history, because of loyalty, because you're afraid of what life might look like without them. But here's the hard truth. Not everyone is meant to stay in your life. Every person you meet is part of your story, but not every person is meant to be part of your entire book. Some are just chapters. And when that chapter is over, you have to be willing to turn the page. The problem is, most of us don't. We try to hold on to chapters that have already ended. We keep rereading them, hoping they'll feel the same, but they never do. And what happens? We get stuck. We stop writing new pages in our own lives because we're too busy holding on to people who belong in the past. Think about how many times you've tried to save relationships that were clearly broken. How many times you ignored red flags because you wanted to believe someone was better than they showed you. How many times you convinced yourself that loyalty meant staying even when it was destroying you. That's not loyalty. That's self-betrayal. You were never meant to sacrifice your peace just to keep someone else comfortable. Not everyone you start with is meant to finish with you. Some friends, some partners, some colleagues, they were only supposed to walk a part of the journey, not the whole way. And that's not failure, that's life. Seasons change, people change, and when someone's role in your life is done, holding on doesn't keep them close, it keeps you stuck. We all crave stability. We all want certainty. But the reality is, life is full of shifts. You are not the same person you were 5 years ago. Your dreams have evolved. Your standards have changed. Your vision for your life has grown. So why do you expect every single person to keep up with you? Why do you assume they'll all evolve with you? The truth is, some people will, and those are the ones you cherish. But some won't, and you have to learn to release them without bitterness. It's easy to believe that letting someone go is cruel, that you're giving up on them. But what if letting them go is actually the most respectful thing you can do for them and for yourself? Because when you force people to stay in a space they've outgrown, or that you've outgrown, you rob both of you from becoming who you're meant to be. Sometimes their role in your life was to teach you something, to prepare you for a new stage, to shape you into who you are today. But once the lesson is learned, you're not meant to carry the teacher with you forever. Think about the people who were once your everything. Friends you couldn't go a day without talking to. Partners you thought you'd spend forever with. Colleagues who felt like family. Where are they now? Some are still with you, and that's beautiful. But others, they faded into the background. And guess what? You're still standing. You kept going. That alone proves that you don't need everyone to stay in your life in order for your life to have meaning. Not everyone has the capacity to love you the way you need to be loved. Not everyone has the courage to walk at your pace. Not everyone has the vision to see where you're going. And that's okay. Their limitations are not your responsibility. Your responsibility is to yourself to grow, to heal, to rise. And you cannot rise while dragging people who are determined to stay on the ground. There is freedom in accepting that some people are temporary. There is strength in knowing when to release. And there is peace in realizing that letting go does not mean you lost. It means you're brave enough to trust the flow of life. When you understand this, you stop forcing connections that no longer fit. You stop begging people to treat you right. You stop wasting your energy trying to fix what doesn't want to be fixed. Life gets lighter when you stop clinging to people who were never meant to carry you into the next chapter. Because the truth is, not everyone can come with you. Some people are not aligned with the person you're becoming. Some people cannot handle the weight of your growth, the size of your dreams, the power of your vision. And the longer you hold on to them, the more you shrink yourself just to keep them close. You deserve relationships that feel like air, not chains. You deserve people who want to see you win, not people who secretly hope you'll fail so they feel better about themselves. You deserve to walk into your future without carrying the dead weight of those who were only meant to be lessons, not lifelines. So ask yourself this: who in your life no longer adds to your growth, your joy, your peace? Who are you holding on to out of fear, guilt, or habit? And what would your life feel like if you finally had the courage to let them go? Because the truth is simple. Life gets better when you stop forcing people to stay. Life gets brighter when you release those who can't walk with you anymore. And life gets lighter when you understand that not everyone is meant to stay in your life. And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. Peace is one of the most valuable things you can ever own, and yet most people don't realize how often they give it away. They hand it over piece by piece to people who thrive on chaos, who stir drama, who never bring calm, but always bring conflict. And the worst part? Many of us don't even notice it happening until we're exhausted, burned out, and wondering why life feels so heavy. The truth is, every person you keep in your life either feeds your peace or drains it. And if you keep holding on to people who drain it, you'll never have enough energy to build the life you actually want. Letting go is not just about removing someone from your contact list. It's about reclaiming your energy. Every time you tolerate disrespect, every time you explain yourself over and over to someone who doesn't listen, every time you walk on eggshells just to avoid conflict, you are giving away your peace. You are spending your energy on battles that do not serve you. And then you wonder why you have nothing left for your own dreams, your own goals, your own happiness. Think about how much lighter your life would feel if you didn't have to carry the weight of toxic relationships. Imagine waking up in the morning without the dread of someone's negativity hanging over your head. Imagine how much clearer your mind would be if you weren't constantly analyzing someone's mixed signals or questioning their loyalty. That clarity, that stillness, that's what peace feels like. And you cannot buy it. You cannot fake it. You have to protect it. Some people will test you again and again, not because they don't know they're draining you, but because they know they can get away with it. They know you'll keep forgiving. They know you'll keep giving second chances. And every time you allow it, they don't just take from you, they train you to believe that chaos is normal. But chaos is not normal. Constant conflict is not normal. Disrespect is not normal. You've just become so used to it that you've forgotten what calm actually feels like. Your energy is like currency. You can spend it wisely or you can waste it. When you invest it in people who uplift you, you grow. You feel energized, inspired, unstoppable. But when you pour it into people who never give back, you're left empty. You can't build anything great with people who constantly drain you. You can't reach your potential while managing someone else's drama. Letting go is how you stop the leak. It's how you patch the holes in your energy so you can finally use it for what matters. And the moment you take your power back, you start to notice how different life feels. That exhaustion you thought was normal begins to fade. That heaviness on your chest begins to lift. Suddenly you have room to breathe, to think, to dream again. Here's the thing, peace doesn't scream. It doesn't demand your attention the way chaos does. Peace is quiet, subtle, steady, and that's why so many people overlook it. They confuse excitement with drama. They mistake intensity for love. But real peace doesn't drain you. Real peace gives you strength. And when you let go of the people who thrive on disturbing your calm, you create space for peace to finally exist in your life. It's not easy though. Letting go often means walking away from people you care about. It means breaking cycles you've been trapped in for years. It means choosing your future self over your current comfort. But here's what you need to remember. Every time you let go of someone who drains your peace, you are saying yes to yourself. You are saying yes to your well-being. You are saying yes to a life that is lighter, calmer, and more aligned with who you really are. When you protect your peace, you change everything. Your relationships improve because you're no longer entertaining those who don't respect you. Your focus sharpens because you're not distracted by meaningless drama. Your confidence grows because you finally have the energy to pour into yourself instead of wasting it on people who never deserved it. The truth is, you cannot do great things if you're constantly drained. You cannot create, build, or achieve if all of your energy is being consumed by people who take without giving. That's why letting go is not selfish. It's survival. It's self-respect. It's the foundation of everything you want for your future. You have to ask yourself, who leaves you feeling heavy every time you interact with them? Who makes you doubt yourself? Who consumes your time and energy, but never adds value to your life? And once you see it clearly, you have a choice. You can continue to carry that weight, or you can finally set it down. And when you do, you'll realize something powerful. Peace was never out of reach. It was always waiting for you, hidden beneath all the noise, all the chaos, all the people you were too afraid to release. The moment you let go, peace rises to the surface. And once you taste it, once you feel the difference, you'll wonder why you ever tolerated anything less. Life gets better when you protect your peace. Life gets lighter when you reclaim your energy. And life becomes limitless when you finally understand that letting go is not losing, it's winning back yourself. One of the greatest lies we tell ourselves is that if we let people go, we'll end up alone. That if we release the relationships that weigh us down, there will be no one left to walk beside us. And because of that fear, we hold on. We cling to connections that have long expired, to friendships that no longer feel alive, to relationships that feel more like survival than love. But what you don't realize is that every time you hold on to the wrong person, you are blocking the right people from entering your life. Releasing isn't about loss. Releasing is about making room. Think of your life like a home. If every room is cluttered with old furniture, broken items, and things you no longer use, there's no space for anything new. Even if something better comes along, you won't have anywhere to put it. Your relationships are the same. When your emotional space is occupied by people who don't value you, who don't uplift you, who don't see your worth, you leave no room for the people who will. You may not realize it, but your energy speaks before you do. When you walk through life attached to the wrong people, you carry a weight that others can feel. It shows in the way you hesitate to trust, in the way you second-guess your worth, in the way you guard your heart. And the right people, the ones who could love you, respect you, stand by you, can't reach you because you're still entangled with the wrong ones. Releasing is how you clear the space. It's how you open the doors for people who are aligned with your future, not just your past. Because here's the truth, not everyone who started with you deserves to grow with you. Some people belonged to who you used to be, not who you are becoming. And if you keep dragging them forward, you rob yourself of the opportunity to connect with those who actually match the person you are now. It's not just about relationships of love, it's about friendships, partnerships, even family dynamics. When you stop entertaining people who bring you down, you raise the standard for what you will accept. And when your standard rises, your circle changes. Suddenly, the conversations around you shift. Instead of gossip, you hear encouragement. Instead of judgment, you hear understanding. Instead of competition, you experience genuine support. The right people will not be threatened by your growth. They will celebrate it. The right people will not drain you. They will pour into you. The right people will not make you question your value. They will remind you of it when you forget. But you will never meet them if you are too busy clinging to the ones who take all your energy and leave nothing behind. Sometimes we stay in unhealthy relationships because of history. We've been friends for years. We grew up together. We've been through so much. But ask yourself, does history equal happiness? Does time equal alignment? Just because someone was there in your past does not mean they deserve a seat in your future. You don't owe anyone a lifetime membership to your life simply because they were there once. And then there's fear. Fear of being alone. Fear of starting over. Fear that no one better will come. But here's the paradox. Until you release what's wrong for you, you can't discover what's right for you. You won't see the better connections waiting for you until you free your hands from holding on to what doesn't fit. Think of a tree in autumn. The leaves fall not because the tree hates them, but because they've served their purpose. And when the tree lets go, it doesn't stand there empty forever. In time, new leaves grow. Stronger, healthier, brighter than before. That's what happens when you release people who no longer align with you. You create the space for new life, new connections, new love to flourish. And when you do meet the right people, everything feels different. You don't have to beg for their attention. You don't have to shrink yourself to keep their approval. You don't have to question where you stand with them. The right people make you feel safe, seen, and valued without you having to sacrifice your peace. And the reason you finally notice them is because you had the courage to clear the space for them to arrive. Letting go is not rejection, it's alignment. It's saying, I am choosing to make room in my life for what I truly deserve. And that choice changes everything. Because once you experience the difference between relationships that drain you and relationships that build you, you will never settle for less again. So many people hold on to what hurts them because they can't imagine what better looks like. But here's the truth. Better only comes when you create room for it. Your life, your relationships, your energy, they are all containers. And if they're filled with the wrong things, there's no space for the right ones to enter. Releasing people is not about being cold or heartless. It's about being brave enough to trust that you deserve more. It's about believing that the right people will find their way to you when you stop entertaining the wrong ones. And it's about knowing that solitude is not punishment. It's preparation. Sometimes the space that feels empty is actually the doorway for everything you've been waiting for. Life will always bring people in and out. Some will stay, some will go. And that's how it should be. Because every ending makes room for a new beginning. Every goodbye creates space for a better hello. And when you finally have the courage to release what doesn't serve you, you open your life to connections that are deeper, healthier, and more aligned with the person you were always meant to become. Life doesn't get better because you hold on to more people. Life gets better because you hold on to the right people. And you can only find them once you learn to release the ones who are never meant to stay. Most people confuse letting go with giving up. They think that if you walk away from a relationship, a friendship, or even a connection that once mattered, it means you weren't strong enough to handle it. They call it weakness, as if endurance is the only measure of strength. But endurance without peace is not strength. It's suffering. Holding on to something that breaks you is not loyalty. It's fear. And the truth is, it takes far more courage to release what hurts you than to cling to it out of habit. Letting go is not weakness. Letting go is power. Think about the times you held on too long. You stayed in relationships long after the love faded. You allowed friends to disrespect you, thinking things would change. You tolerated environments that drained your energy because you told yourself, I can handle it. But ask yourself, at what cost? How many pieces of yourself did you lose in the process of proving you were strong enough to endure? Real strength isn't proven by how long you can suffer. Real strength is proven by how brave you are to say enough. There is a reason we struggle with letting go. It feels final. It feels like failure. We're taught that walking away means we've lost something, when in reality, we've saved ourselves. Weakness is staying where you are diminished. Weakness is shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's comfort. Weakness is refusing to face the truth, because you're afraid of the unknown. But strength, that's choosing to leave when your heart knows it's time. That's facing the fear of the empty space and trusting that something better will fill it. Strength is not loud. It doesn't always roar. Sometimes strength is quiet, steady, and unseen. It's the silent decision you make at 2 a.m. when you realize you can't live like this anymore. It's the calm way you walk away without explanation, because you don't need to convince anyone of your worth. It's the courage to set a boundary and enforce it, even if it means losing people you thought would be with you forever. There is no weakness in valuing yourself. There is no weakness in choosing your peace over someone else's chaos. The world might tell you that love means staying no matter what, that friendship means tolerating anything, that loyalty means sacrificing yourself. But that is not love. That is not friendship. That is not loyalty. That is bondage. And real strength is breaking free. Consider the image of a climber scaling a mountain. They carry tools, ropes, bags, everything they think they need. But as the climb gets higher, the weight slows them down. At some point, they must decide what to release if they want to reach the top. Is it weakness to drop the excess weight? No, it's wisdom. Because without letting go, they can never reach the summit. The same is true for you. You cannot rise if you are carrying people, situations, and attachments that weigh you down. Strength is being willing to face solitude. It's being willing to sit in the silence that follows letting go. Weakness clings to noise because it's afraid of being alone. But strength understands that solitude is where you rediscover yourself. It's in the silence of letting go that you hear your own voice again. It's where your clarity returns. It's where your spirit begins to heal. When you let go, you teach yourself something vital. You teach yourself that you can survive without what you thought you couldn't live without. You prove to yourself that your value was never tied to their presence, that your happiness was never dependent on their approval, that your life was never meant to be dictated by anyone else's choices. That realization is one of the purest forms of strength you will ever know. And let's be honest, letting go hurts. It feels like tearing something out of your chest. It feels like stepping into darkness without a flashlight. But pain is not the same as weakness. Pain is evidence of growth. When you let go, the pain you feel is not a sign that you've broken. It's a sign that you're healing. Weakness keeps you stuck in what's familiar because it fears pain. Strength embraces pain as part of the process of becoming free. You must remember, strength is not about control. It's not about forcing people to stay, convincing them to love you, or bending yourself to keep them. Strength is surrender. It's the decision to stop fighting battles that are not yours to win. It's the wisdom to know that you cannot carry anyone across their own finish line. It's the courage to release them and focus on your own journey instead. And when you do let go, something incredible happens. Your energy shifts. You no longer carry the burden of trying to fix what was never yours to fix. You stop pouring yourself into a bottomless cup. You feel lighter, freer, more present, and that strength begins to radiate in every area of your life. People notice it. They see the way you carry yourself differently, the way you no longer tolerate what diminishes you, the way you've built a boundary around your peace. That strength becomes magnetic. The truth is, anyone can hold on. Anyone can cling out of fear, but only the strong have the courage to release. Only the strong understand that endings are not failures, they are openings. Only the strong know that walking away is not the end of the story. It's the start of a new chapter, one where you finally stand in your power. Letting go is not weakness, it is the highest form of self-respect. It's you saying, I choose myself, I choose peace, I choose freedom, and there is nothing stronger than that. Look at the people you spend the most time with. and you'll see a reflection of where your life is headed. Your future isn't built only by your effort, your discipline, or your dreams. It's also shaped by the company you keep. The people around you are like mirrors, constantly reflecting back energy, values, and habits. And whether you realize it or not, you are becoming more like them every single day. That's why who you surround yourself with isn't just a detail of your life. It's a decision that determines your future. If you are surrounded by people who complain all the time, who see problems in every situation, who always focus on what's missing rather than what's possible, you will start to absorb that mindset. You might not notice it at first, but slowly your language changes, your outlook darkens, your drive weakens. You don't even realize you're shrinking until you wake up one day and wonder why your life feels stuck. It's because you've been breathing in their air, and their air is heavy with doubt and limitation. On the other hand, when you spend time with people who see potential, who encourage growth, who believe in rising higher, you begin to rise with them. Their energy lifts you. Their mindset challenges you to think bigger. Their presence reminds you that greatness is possible. And over time, you start to mirror them too. Your language shifts. Your posture changes. Your habits strengthen. This is the power of your circle. It can either drag you backward or propel you forward. Think about it this way. If you want to get physically stronger, you don't spend all your time with people who avoid the gym, who mock discipline, who laugh at effort. You put yourself in rooms with people who push themselves, who live with consistency, who set the standard high, because just being in that environment makes you level up. The same is true for your entire life. If you want to be better, you need to be around better. Your future self, the one you dream about, the one who has achieved, healed, and grown, that version of you cannot exist in the same environment that created the current version of you. That future self requires a different circle, a different energy, a different level of accountability. And you can't get there if you're still surrounding yourself with people who drain, distract, or diminish you. Sometimes the people around you don't even mean harm. They love you in their own way. But if their vision for life is smaller than yours, if their standards are lower than yours, if their ambition is weaker than yours, then staying too close will cost you. Because without realizing it, you'll start matching their pace. You'll adjust your goals to fit their comfort. And soon, you'll find yourself living a life beneath your potential, simply because you chose to stay where you didn't belong. It doesn't make them bad people. It just means they're not your people for the next chapter. Everyone has their own journey, their own timing, their own lessons. But you can't afford to let their limitations become your ceiling. Your future self is depending on you to choose wisely now. There's a saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And whether it's 5, 10, or 20, the point is the same. You cannot rise higher if your circle is pulling you lower. Look closely at your circle. Are these people inspiring you, challenging you, encouraging you to step into the best version of yourself? Or are they keeping you small, comfortable, and stuck? Sometimes the hardest part of growth is realizing that the people you love the most may not be the ones who can walk with you into the future. And that's painful. It feels like betrayal. But it isn't. It's evolution. Because the truth is, you don't just outgrow clothes or jobs. You outgrow people too. And every time you cling to someone you've outgrown, you delay the arrival of the ones who truly match your destiny. Your future is waiting for you to surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you, people who don't let you settle, people who challenge you when you're slipping, people who celebrate your victories without jealousy, people who remind you of your worth when you forget. Those are the people who hold the keys to your future, not because they build it for you, but because they fuel you to build it yourself. Think of your future self standing at the finish line of your goals. That version of you is looking back at your choices today. And one of the biggest questions they would ask is, who did you allow to walk with us? Who did you give permission to influence us? Because your future self knows what you sometimes forget. The wrong circle can destroy everything, and the right circle can change everything. So ask yourself, who in your life is holding you back? Even unintentionally, who around you keeps you stuck in cycles of doubt, drama, or distraction? And who could you invite into your life that would push you higher, stretch your vision, remind you of your power? Because the decisions you make about your circle today will either limit or expand the life you live tomorrow. Your future self is counting on you to choose wisely, to let go of the people who no longer align, to create space for the ones who will help you grow, to surround yourself with energy that matches your destiny. Because the truth is simple. Your future depends not only on what you do, but also on who you allow to walk beside you. Life gets better when you choose to release the wrong people. Life gets brighter when you make space for the right ones. And life becomes limitless when you finally surround yourself with those who reflect the greatness you are destined for. Life has a way of showing you what belongs and what doesn't. It whispers in moments of unease. It speaks in the exhaustion you feel around certain people. And sometimes it shouts in the chaos that never seems to end. The signs are always there, but it's up to you to listen. And if you've learned anything from this message, let it be this: life will always get better the moment you find the courage to let go. Letting go doesn't mean you stop caring. It doesn't mean you erase the memories or pretend that someone never mattered. Letting go means you respect yourself enough to choose peace over pain, growth over stagnation, and your future over your past. It means you finally accept that not everyone is meant to walk with you into the next chapter. Some people were there to teach you, to shape you, to prepare you, and now their role is complete. The real strength isn't in clinging to what's breaking you. The real strength is in opening your hands and trusting that better will come. Because better always comes. But it can only arrive when you stop holding space for what no longer serves you. So as you walk forward, ask yourself, who do I need to release so that I can finally breathe again? What weight am I carrying that no longer belongs to me? And how much lighter, freer, stronger could my life become if I finally had the courage to let go? Your future self is waiting. Your peace is waiting. Your strength is waiting. The life you deserve is waiting. But none of it can reach you until you let go of what's been holding you down. Don't be afraid to release. Don't be afraid to turn the page. Because sometimes the most powerful beginning starts with a goodbye.